take a step back, and I always tell people, just don't look at the statement itself, but take a step back. You'll realize that there is a concerted effort being put forth to keep you sick. So when people say, why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be sick. Because they want you to be sick. Because your being sick is profitable. That's why you're sick. They put more information out there to keep you sick, to keep you uninformed, to keep you exactly where you are. They put more foods and advertise more stuff to ensure your sickness. So why are we sick? Why are you sick? Because that's exactly what the system wants. The system wants you to be sick. The system needs you to be sick. In order for the system to work, you have to be sick and in debt. Oh, and stupid. Ignorant to the facts. Okay? Because if you are not, you cannot, will not buy into the system and the nonsense. And then you're no longer as valuable to the system. You know why people cannot afford to actually protest and riot? Because there's too much in debt to where they cannot afford to lose their jobs. They cannot afford to not have the health care. You see, when you're healthy and not in debt, you can actually demand things. When you're not, they don't even have to demand you go back to work. You got to go back to work because you need your job. When they come up with a treatment that you must have, otherwise, 65 to 70% of you will have to take it. Why? Because you can't afford to lose your job. Can't afford to lose the health care. You can't even stand up for yourself. So that's why you're sick. Because 70% of a nation that is on prescription drugs is not a free nation. It's a new form of slavery. Your sickness is your chain. Your sickness keeps you bound. Okay? You know, I posted about sugar the other day. And think about this now, and just something to keep in mind. Sugar is literally the gateway drug. When we say that, people think it's people is over exaggerating. It's just sugar. You know, we see people indoctrinate their children into sugar from the time they're toddlers. We see people give babies these birthday cakes. Have you seen what happens when a child, when an infant, when a toddler gets their first hit of sugar, whether it be a Coca-Cola and or some icing off of an ice cream cake? Do you see their reaction? It's not a very pleasant reaction. If you look at their reaction and how they brisk themselves, it's the same thing from the first time somebody takes a hit of cocaine. Because that's what it's like. Sugar lights up your brain reward system exactly like cocaine. Don't take my word for it, look it up. They've done research on sugar to show that sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Rats that are addicted to cocaine will take sugar over cocaine. Even if you shock them with electric current, it will still go for the sugar. That's how addictive cocaine is. Addictive sugar is, and obviously cocaine. All right? Think about this. Think about, I posted about aging. People ask me all the time about my skin. Well, one of the reasons why my skin stays in good condition is because I don't ingest a lot of sugar. Okay? Sugar is oxidative to the skin. So once again, you have collagen and elastin and stuff underneath your skin. Okay? And that's what keeps your skin nice and tight so your skin doesn't wrinkle and keeps that tautness, right? Well, sugar breaks that down. And when it breaks it down, depending on how aggressive the sugar is, that's how you see people have those wrinkles, and especially those crosshatch wrinkles, right? Because that's actually just broken down collagen, and that's the voids from the cracks in the collagen under your skin. I'm just trying to make it as simple as possible for people to understand, right? So when you're not consuming sugar and all those highly oxidative things, and you consume things that are what we call antioxidative. So what are antioxidative things? Ginger, turmeric, berries, most of your fruits, those things are antioxidant, antioxidative. Guess what happens? You preserve the healthy look of your skin. And not only do you do that, but over time, believe it or not, you can even reverse wrinkles. Yes, you can. You can even reverse wrinkling, because those things, when you take supplements like collagen, will help to restore, okay? Will help to restore collagen levels in your skin, and thereby your skin will tighten back up. So that's one thing that sugar does. First of all, your brain. The next thing, your skin. Do you know that sugar also affects your liver? Yeah. Yeah. Your liver will convert excess amounts of sugar into fats. That's how people get things like fatty liver disease and all that kind of stuff like that. Get it also from drinking alcohol, because what is alcohol filled with? Sugar. Yeah. Think about the things they advertise to you all the time, right? They're going down the list. Kidneys, all right? When you ingest too much sugar, your kidneys will spill the excess sugar into your bloodstream. It will also affect your kidney function and can cause permanent damage to your kidneys. So now we've done brain, skin, kidneys, and also liver. What else does sugar affect? Your mouth. Well, everybody knows the sugar in your teeth, right? All right, it breaks down your teeth. It erodes the enamel. All right, that's one of the most minor things that sugar does to you. All right. What else? Your heart. Do you know that too much sugar actually hardens the arteries? So believe it or not, back in the 60s, the sugar industry paid three Harvard doctors, scientists, to write a BS report saying that sugar was not the problem. You can eat as much sugar as you want, right? What was the problem? Dairy, eggs, butter. Yes, we know this for a fact, but yet we still spout these things today, all right? Why? Because if you look at the lobbying money that the sugar industry spends, the sugar industry lobbies your government more than anyone else. So a lot of your politicians, whether you're blue or red or independent, have taken money from them. That's why they say nothing. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be sick. Why are you sick? Because people are paid well to make sure you're sick. What else does sugar do to you? Your stomach, all right? Throws off your gut health. So a lot of people who have these gut issues, from Crohn's disease to whatever, that IBS, all those different things like that, guess what? Your gut health has been compromised. Change your diet, cleanse your system, restore proper gut health, cut the sugar out, and watch what happens. Most of your upset stomach. Yeah. Oh, I forgot the other thing to add to sugar. Things like eczema, things like acne, sugar, and dairy, but sugar. And guess what dairy actually converts to when you eat it? Sugar. Yeah. So when you do things like whey protein, right, it spikes your insulin levels. Why? Because dairy is mostly sugar. Okay? Yes, it has nutrients in it, but mostly sugar. All right? Your pancreas. All right? Sugar actually spurs your pancreas into producing more insulin. The more you do it, the more you do it, you keep putting that into overdrive. Before long, guess what? You got another issue. Okay? Yep. Fertility. High blood sugar impairs reproductive health and reproductive function. Why do you think they put sugar in everything? Knowing all these things, and mind you, you can find out how sugar damages the body, because that's all you have to do is do that Google search. How sugar damages the body. It will give you all that and more. If we know that, if your Centers for Disease Control, if your FDA and all these governing bodies know that, why is the amount of sugar that's put in your food unregulated? The other day they had a lemonade that's at Starbucks, I believe. Starbucks, right? 96 grams of sugar. You got any idea what 96 grams of sugar is? Somebody do that math. What is 96 grams of sugar in teaspoons? I believe it's something like 30 grams of sugar in one drink. Can somebody do that math? 96 grams of sugar. How much is 96 grams of sugar in teaspoons, if you will? So you can get an idea what one drink that you can go and buy. People will buy it. People will drink it. They'll give it to their kids. Women are drinking it. And they're having all kinds of inflammatory problems, from endometriosis to PCOS to hormonal issues. And they can't figure out why. When they put sugar in everything from your deli meat to your milk. Think about that. Think about that. All right. 23 teaspoons of sugar. There you go. Wow. Would you ever drink or eat or consume 23 teaspoons of sugar? Yeah. I forget who it is now. I don't want to say it's Johnson & Johnson, but it's one of the baby milk providers. They just found out that they actually were adding sugar to baby milk, selling it all around the world. You think that these food companies are not working hand in hand with the drug companies? Yeah. Think about that. Just about most of our diseases, as you can see, that we fight with every single day: high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, obesity. All these things have a direct link to sugar. You ask, why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be sick. Nestle, there you go, my bad. Nestle is adding sugar to the milk. You know, I realized the other day, well, not the other day, it was years ago, but I realized that sometimes even with the labels that people are trying to do better. Okay, people are trying to do better. I remember I was trying to do better, and I was buying non-dairy milk, and I remember it was an aha moment. It was like maybe 12, 15 years ago when I really realized the extent of the sugar. I was buying almond milk, right? I don't even buy almond milk in the store anymore, but I was buying almond milk, and I remember I looked at the container a little bit closely that day for one reason or another, right? And I noticed it said sugar-free, or it said no sugar added, or something like that. It said something like that on the label. And I remember I was like, I don't recall seeing this before. Well, what have I been buying? And I went and looked at the one I've been buying, and it just said 100% organic almond milk. I'm like, oh. But let me read this. And I looked on the back of it. And the one that didn't say anything actually had 9 grams of sugar in it. So the one that is being sold to you as regular has sugar. Whether it's your milk, it has to say no sugar added, or sugar free, or whatever it is, right? In order for it to actually be the one that has no sugar. That's how common sugar is. They put sugar in ketchup. They literally put sugar in ketchup. All your dairy, not your dairy, but all your deli meats have sugar added. So when people say, well, how is sugar more addictive than cocaine? If people went off sugar, because you're getting slow drip sugar all day long. Slow dripped. Unsweetened, that's the word, unsweetened. I don't know why I drew blank on that. Thank you, Mrs. Easy. Yeah, it said unsweetened. I'm like, what do you mean unsweetened? What is the other one then, if this one is unsweetened? Yeah. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be sick. Why are you broke? Because you're supposed to be broke. Because in order for the system to run properly, over 80 to 90% of you have to be sick and in debt in order for the system to run. I always tell people, Slavery didn't end. It just got repackaged. You can get people to work a lot harder, right? If you give them little trinkets and then you incentivize them to get more, and all they have to do is work harder. You have the semblance of freedom. You have the promise of retirement and wealth, but how many people really actually attain those things? Maybe 5 or 10% at best. At best. And they take those people out and they dangle them out in front of you as if to say, you should be able to do that. But the truth is that 90% of you will never be able to achieve that. Why? Because you're not supposed to. The system is rigged against you. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be. Why are you broke? Because you're supposed to be. Why, no matter how hard you work, you can't get ahead? Because you're not supposed to be ahead. Especially if you keep following the blueprint. Okay? Especially if you keep following the blueprint. People are paid. Actors, actresses, athletes are paid purposely to give you bad information. Okay? They're paid to wear clothing. They're paid to drive cars. They're paid to advertise foods to ensure that you stay sick, in debt, and ignorant. It's a fact. And people like me, right? They make sure that I don't get popular. Because you see, I don't buy into the racism is the problem. I don't buy into the Democrat Republican. I realize that regardless of your race, creed, or color, we're all at the business end of the same gun. The only thing is that 95% of people don't realize that, because they buy into the programming that you're against me, I'm against you because my color or my political leanings, and one group calling people sheep, the other one people calling people ignorant, while you both are sick and in debt and have almost no chance of changing that until you wake up and take a step back and see the big picture. What's the real play? 1% controls 95%. 4% work for the 1%. And 5% of the 95 are trying to wake you up, but you're not listening because you're too busy arguing over blue and red and black and white, Christian and Muslim, gay or straight. And we're all sucking down the same poison and got to pay the same taxes. And going nowhere. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be sick. Okay? Because that's what works for the system. The system makes over $2,000 or more dollars, right? And I think that number is low, right? On you if you're obese. You have corporations, major corporations, the corporations that actually run this country, betting money that the obesity number is going to go up, and no one's really trying to stop it. If a country cared about its citizens, would it allow, 70% of the country, 70% of the nation to be obese? Right? That's what they're heading for. Would they allow 70% of this nation to be chronically ill to where they have to take prescription drugs? That's where we are. Okay? Would there not be a problem where somebody be ringing some kind of alarm bells? Hey man, we're only 5% of the world's population, but we're consuming over 50% of the world's psychoactive and psychotropic drugs. You got more depression, anxiety in this country than any other country on the planet. No one's talking about that. Why is that? Because that's the plan. That's the plan. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be. Why are you in debt? Because you're supposed to be. Why can't you not get ahead? Because the plan was not for you to get ahead. Think about it. People love to talk about Ponzi schemes, right? I always say that the greatest Ponzi scheme right in front of you is Social Security. Most people start working at 21, right? At 21, you start working. If you are an employer in America, you have to put aside a certain amount of money for your employees, and I have to put aside a certain amount of my money to pay into Social Security. But if it goes the way it's supposed to go, right? 70% of people are on prescription drugs. So that means you start getting sick, chronically ill around about 40. And so what do? Right? They extend your life for 20, 30 years on drugs. And then by the time you get to 67, 68, for what, 90% of people, 80 some odd percent of people, right? Usually you can't even afford to retire. But if you do retire, you're usually dead within 3 to 5 years. What happened to that 40 some odd years worth of money that was put in? Well, because most people's, their spouse is going to be around their same age. Their children are adult age. Most of that money, after they pay it out for a few years, if you make it to 68, after they pay it out for 2 or 3 years, the rest of that money, 1.5 million plus people died, most of them over 50, from COVID over the last 2 or 3 years, supposedly. What happened to that money? For most of them, they don't have minor children, and a lot of spouses, and they died around about the same time. What happened to that money? Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be sick. Why are you in debt? Because you're supposed to be in debt. Why don't you know these things? Because you're supposed to be ignorant. You're supposed to care more about the Kardashians. You're supposed to care more about OJ's confessions. You're supposed to care more about what's going on with P. Diddy. But you're not supposed to know that the people who are charged with your health are actively promoting people and ideas to keep you sick. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be. Because that's the plan. That's why it's called the American dream. I don't think you even can be dreaming and asleep and still believe it, but hey, people do. And the sad thing is that people will defend it. Even though we see the very same corporations that manufacture food here, laced with chemicals, laced with sugar, but when they go to other countries, they're not allowed to do that there. They say, nope, you can't do that there. You have to make a different product, better quality. And guess what they do? They do it. Our lawmakers and our regulators, they see that. You think they couldn't make the same demand on them here? Of course they do. But they don't. Why? Because you're supposed to be sick. You're supposed to be in debt. We see the numbers that they say we're going to have the highest occurrence of cancer, but at the same time, they don't really talk about that so much. What they say is more people are surviving cancer. Like, yeah! They get more bites of the apple, baby. Yeah. It's great if I can get you to get cancer once. Most people that get cancer once, it wipes out their savings. But what happens if I can get you to get it 2 or 3 times before you finally die? You know how much money I can get out of you? A lot. Let's line you up so you can get it now earlier in your 20s. And maybe you'll get it again by the time you're 30-something or 40. And then by the time we get to 60, when you used to get it the first time and die, that's when we take you out, right when your Social Security is supposed to take in. Boom, but we got you 2 extra times. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be. That's the plan. Why else do you think? Why do you think that get it that they announced that we're going to have more incidences of cancer in 2024, and no one's really in a big rush to tell you why. They put out about, but more people are surviving though, you know. That's like, you know, me saying, hey, more and more people are breaking their leg going down escalators. But check this out. The new wheelchairs we got, they're awesome. We're investing in wheelchairs. Why don't we invest in better escalators so people don't break their legs? Don't worry about that. The wheelchairs is where it is. And a lot of people don't have the, I don't want to say intelligence, but a lot of people are so distracted that 2 + 2 is not adding up. You see, in most of the other countries we just mentioned, all the EU countries, the hospital systems, right, are not, the government has hands in them. And the government has hands in them, and the citizens get free health care that's paid for by the government in taxes. You pay all your taxes here, what do you get for it? You get potholes in the winter. That's what you get. You don't get free health care, you don't get nothing for that. Okay? People pay taxes in other countries to get what they get. They get free health care and they get guaranteed retirement. So that means the country, the government is actually vested in your wellness. They're not vested in your wellness here. They hope you get sick so their corporate people can make more money off your hospital bill. When you go and have a kid in America right now, believe it or not, you know how much that costs you to have a kid in America right now? Yeah. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be. Because you're supposed to be. I saw this meme the other day. It's funny as hell. It said, the average cost of a hip replacement in Spain is $7,000 and change. In America, it's $42,000. The guys say at that rate, I can afford to move to Spain for 2 years, run with the bulls, get hit by a bull, get my hip replaced, and come back. And I still have some change left over. I still wouldn't spend $42,000. And he's right. Why is it that your hip replacement costs literally 7 times more? Okay. Think about it. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be. I hope this kind of puts things in perspective for some people. And when you look at that lady, I want you to answer the question, why would somebody even say that? That the food you eat and your activity levels do not affect how much fat you have on your body. Why would they say that? Why would you put that out on, why would the New York Post even post that? And then, mind you, they make sure they tell you that she's a New York Times best-selling author. What is the criteria to be a best-selling author? Who determines that? Who determines your popularity? Why are we making stupid people popular? You ever wonder how some people, how the hell you get relevant enough to come across my timeline talking this nonsense? Well, so, you want to know why you're sick? Once again, because that's the plan. The plan is to make you sick, keep you in debt, and keep you uninformed, keep you distracted, so that you keep trudging along with the new age slavery, and you wake up one day and you're so far down in the hole that you can't even afford to free yourself. And the sad thing is, you're taking your kids with you. If you're an adult and your child is overweight, I'm letting you know right now. I guess maybe you may not know better. You may not have known better. But to me, that is not an excuse, especially if you're an adult and you're overweight yourself. All right? Being sick in America is the exact same thing as being a slave. Being broke, living check to check in America, is the exact same thing as being a slave. There's no difference. The same way how the slave had to get up to go to work, you have to get up to go to work because you got to keep that insurance. If not, the drugs are your chain. It keeps you chained to that job. How many people wanted to leave their job, would leave their job, but they cannot afford to go without insurance? You think that's by accident? And they make insurance so high, so expensive. And what do you really get for it? Look at the cost of living these days. I mean, I swear, you know, I'm fortunate, but I wonder how the average person is doing. Sometimes it frightens me how the average person's making it. Because I mind my expenses. Okay? I do. I mind my expenses, and I tell people all the time, you know, I said, listen, man, you know, I never want to forget how hard it is to make $1,000. Because I see people spending money like they stupid. I'm like, nah, dog, it's real hard to make $1,000. Okay? Don't get it twisted. And out here right now, I mean, I remember the cost of some things just 3-4 years ago. And now it's 40-50% more expensive. This is health food. Right? And there's just not enough information out there to tell people just even how to survive on be healthy like it blows my mind. So once again, you know, there's ways we can do it. But we have to pull together. We have to, you know, number one, spread information. Spread awareness. Let's stop being ignorant. Let's stop thinking that this system is really trying to help you. They're not trying to help you. I don't care who they are. Okay? And yeah, some people, don't get me wrong, some politicians may even be well-intended. Right? But we're talking about a train that's on a track. Okay? To a large extent, it doesn't matter who the conductor is. It's only headed in one direction. Okay? And the direction it's heading, you don't win. You just get new promises. That's all you get, new promises. Why are you sick? Because you're supposed to be. When you wake up to that fact, then maybe you'll start taking action. Because you'll realize that no one is trying to help you. No one is coming to save you. And if you keep going, you will wind up like most people. Don't be most people. Okay? Something to think about for Wellness Wednesday. Check out the post I made with the young lady. And share your comments. You know, do you think... First of all, I don't think everybody don't need to have a microphone. I swear to God, everybody doesn't. Because, I mean, my thing with that is, where are the fact checkers? You know, I just want to know, where's the fact checker? Okay? Because you can just say anything you want. You know? So, anyway, something to think about. Once again, I saw somebody ask, what did they ask? What's the best detox? The best detox that I would say, and once again, I would never say mine is the best detox, but what I will say is it works very well. Okay, and it's worked very well for many people, and I think a lot of people will attest to that. So if you want to find the detox stack, visit my website, TitusUnlimited.com. Look for the detox stack. It's an excellent product. It has great reviews, and it has worked well for, I would say, over 95% of people that have taken it, and it's been around for years. Check out the detox stack. Change your diet, all right? Change your relationship and your idea of food. Okay? Approach food from the standpoint of food being fuel as opposed to it being entertainment. Take a look at your lifestyle as well. Ask yourself about things. Do you really need those things? Right? Do you? Do you really need those things? Or you're just doing things and following people? All right? I made that shift years, over a decade ago. All right? When I started asking myself questions like, do you really need this? You know, do you really like it? Would you still do it if no one else knew you had it? Right? You know, a lot of times we find ourselves doing things and just following the crowd, but we don't really think about it. There's nothing more important than your health. There you go. Black Queen says, started a detox stack 2 weeks ago and already down 11 pounds. That's awesome. That's another thing I wanted to say to you guys. If you could please go to the website and leave a review. All right? Leave a review. All right? I would love for you guys to do that. Leave more reviews. Thank you so much, Black Queen, for saying that. 11 pounds in 2 weeks. That's great. All right? So check out the detox stack once again. Check out the other supplements, the essential nutrients bundle, the superfoods bundle. Book a consultation if you want to talk, you know, about your health in particular, and get a little guidance on things that you can do. All right, and have a good evening.